Okay, it's totally my fault for burying the lead a little bit in my last video where I was discussing how the Department of Fish and Wildlife is planning on culling about 468,000 barred owls on the West Coast over the next 30 years, about 15,000 a year. And how Earth Justice and the Sierra Club and a number of other reputable conservation and environmentalist organizations have supported this move, but a number of animal rights groups have spoken out against it. Yeah, as my children would say, these animal rights groups are discheesed at the prospect of the federal government culling hundreds of thousands of owls with their big eyes and their adorable faces. And as I mentioned in my last video, barred owls are invasive out here in the West, and they are a significant threat on the northern spotted owl, which is already in big trouble and has been in big trouble for decades. So this effort to cull these invasive barred owls is all about spotted owl conservation. But that doesn't matter to animal rights groups. I guess the fate of the northern spotted owl doesn't matter to them. Although it's interesting to me how often animal rights groups focus on the animals that we human beings find to be cute, aesthetically pleasing, adorable. It's not really about animal rights at all. It is still centering people. It's centering human beings, our feelings, our perceptions, and our distress when we see cute, adorable animals having to be culled in the name of greater conservation efforts. Right, you don't get the same public outcry about emerald ash borer or spotted lanternfly or zebra mussels. In fact, you often see significant cooperation with the public in helping document and eradicate these species. For example, here in the Pacific Northwest, Japanese beetles are an increasing problem. But gosh, when those invasive species are cute and cuddly and humans have affection for them and an attachment to them, everything changes, which again tells me so much of animal rights is really centered in human beings' feelings. It's still centering people and not actually what's best for ecosystems, what's best for conservation. Some other examples that got listed were pythons that are an invasive species in Florida and wreaking havoc in the ecosystem down in the Everglades. Yet another example is lionfish that are devastating to all kinds of aquatic ecosystems where they have been released by aquarium enthusiasts, I guess, who didn't want them. I realize that it's a very complicated issue to figure out how to deal with invasive species, which are so often released into an ecosystem because of us, because of people. And therefore, we have a responsibility to mitigate that harm and protect those vulnerable environments, even if it causes us distress because we have an affection for the animals that need to be culled.